I said at this hour, especially during COVID-19, every entrepreneur must be in a position to see what is available within his or her, reach. And especially if you are running a business or you want to start a business, you may not have the luxury of time to, keep on strategizing and planning and all that. Yes, it's very important. But what I have come to, realize in this journey is sometimes we spend too much time preparing for the rains that we do not enjoy the sunshine. We spend too much time, preparing for the rains and we do not enjoy the sunshine. So while you are able or you are have the potential to get into this, we have been added 21 more days by the president. You cannot wait for 21 days to start something. You may have to see what is available right where you are and be able to exploit it. And so the ambidexterity idea is your potential to exploit the resources that are within you or that are locally available. If you're running a company today, you need to look at what you are able to achieve within your company, within the reach of your company. Exploit it even as you explore. I'm a very firm believer of vision and strategy, but I would want to say, here and now, that strategy takes time to develop. Strategy takes time to develop, and sometimes you, as an ambidextrous entrepreneur, you may want to just start with what you have and then keep building it. It has been said that the most successful companies in the world did not begin with a strategy. They began with what they had, and then they started the journey. And along the way, strategy began to fall in place, or what they wanted began to fall in place. Many times when we are too cautious about what we do not achieve all that we wanted to achieve. And so it's very important, even as you go through this season, to be ambidextrous. And I want to give an example from Nehemiah. I'm just taking you back to last Saturday so that I can bring you to this Saturday. Welcome all those that are coming in right now. Pastor Paul from Rongai, Paul Kariuki Nakuru, Paul Johnny from Nakuru, all of you, karibuni sana. So I was saying, when you are behaving like an ambidextrous person, ambidexterity first of all comes from the ability to use both hands at the same time. That is ambidexterity. Ambidexterity is your ability to use both hands at the same time. And so when you are able to use both hands at the same time, in entrepreneurship, it means you can explore and you can exploit at the same time. And I don't want us to lose that sight. Masi karibu sana. I don't want us to lose that sight of view, or that view of how you can exploit the two. And so I ended with a story of Apple last Saturday, and I said Apple was able to, when Steve Jobs came back in 2000, he was able to exploit and explore at the same time. He's one gentleman who did quite a fantastic job. And today I'm going to look at him maybe briefly, even before I start. And his story with iPod, and then iTunes and iPhone, the way it developed and the way they have been able to move from one product to another. And if you look at the way he has been able to they were able to move from one product to another, it tells you a story of ambidexterity. It tells you a story of ambidexterity. And so I want to challenge everyone that we be ambidextrous. We be ambidextrous. Ambidexterity, if we were to go into hunting today, one person would want to hunt and then give another person to shoot. But an ambidextrous hunter will hunt and shoot at the same time. Welcome, Paul Waroi. A good person who is ambidextrous will be able to hunt and shoot at the same time. And so today, I want us to explore blue ocean strategy, the blue ocean strategy. Blue ocean strategy is not a very new idea. It has been here since the year 2000. And it was reviewed in 2000. It has been around for quite some time. Many companies have been able to use blue ocean strategy. And so I want to make it as simple as possible, and especially as applicable as possible to ourselves. Blue ocean strategy, of course, it's a book that was done by W. Chan Kim and Renee Malborn. They have done this, they did a research, and out of this research that they did, they were able to develop a book called the Blue Ocean Strategy. And so tonight I want to look at it. I know I've listened to speakers who have spoke about blue sky strategy, blue ocean strategy, and all of them in one way or the other lead to one thing: your ability to move from the red ocean to the blue ocean. And so welcome on board. I know we have a good number now that we can proceed with. And so I want to look at blue ocean strategy from this point where we look at where did it come from. You know, back in the days of the Asian wars, they used to fight and kill each other, and there was so much blood in the, you know, in the front of the ocean. And when anybody would want to go and swim or even go and do fishing, there would not be a possibility to do fishing or to get a good result from the front of the ocean because it was red. It was red because of blood. And then you had to go, I believe you had to go into the blue ocean, which is a deeper, further ocean, for you to be able to get, you know, uncontested or uncontaminated waters. And blue ocean, if you look at this that I'm sharing right now, is that the red ocean is bloody with competition. For entrepreneurs, when you talk about blue ocean and red ocean, we are talking about the cutthroat competition, where if there's so much competition, if you were to succeed in anything, if you were to succeed doing anything, you have to fight so much. And so for entrepreneurs in 2020 or the 21st century, you would want to ask yourself, do you want to stay within the red ocean or would you want to move into the blue ocean? When I was really thinking about the entrepreneur in 2020, especially during COVID-19, I could not think about another better book than the Blue Ocean Strategy book by Kim. And so if you look at this, the red ocean in terms of entrepreneurship is where we have competing for existing markets. Many people are not able to think beyond competition. And I want to settle it here that Africa is affected by the red ocean habits and behaviors more than any other continent. Because Africa, we are into duplicating ideas. We want to look at what our auntie or our next neighbor is doing and start it. We want to see what, you know, your uncle did and you want to do it. You want to look at what your mom did and you want to do it, including career choice. Many people that are choosing careers today, they are not able to move from red ocean to ocean. And that's why we have so many people who have done the same course in college and they are not able to move to get a job because we are competing within the red ocean. My challenge tonight is there's no time to compete in red ocean. Good thinkers and innovative people have to move from red ocean to blue ocean. It is in the blue ocean where there's limited competition. This is where you are free from competition. You capture a new market completely. And if you have to be strategic in thinking today, and even after COVID-19, you must think about how to move from cutthroat competition to a place of no competition. Not because there's no competition, but because people who have also moved to the blue ocean, they have identified themselves and they have identified what they want to be identified with in terms of entrepreneurship. So this concept of blue ocean and red ocean is very critical for every entrepreneur right now. Let me look at a quote by Sun Tzu, and this is from the book of The Art of War, and it says, to win 100 victories in 100 battles is not the aim of skill. To subdue the enemy without fighting is the aim of skill. So if you can win in entrepreneurship without necessarily fighting, then you are a better winner than if you have to win by fighting. It is in the red ocean, and let me just take you to the difference of the two, because this is very important. I want us to explore the two, the red ocean and the blue ocean. In the red ocean, this is where you compete with existing market space. In the existing market space, this is where everybody wants to go to do farming. And when you go farming, everyone wants to grow tomatoes because your neighbor is growing tomatoes the next door and you have to grow tomatoes. And so you enter into a red ocean. and everybody wants to do what others are doing. But on the other side, the blue ocean strategy is you create uncontested market space. And so if you have to be a smart entrepreneur in 2020, this decade going forward, you must think about creating uncontested market space. And I'm going to show you how you can get into this space where you enter into uncontested market space. Now, the other bit of red oceans, entrepreneur is they beat the competition. So you work hard, you labor to beat the competition. So the idea that you're coming up with right now, you are thinking of how you can outsmart your neighbor, how you can outsmart, the next door entrepreneur, but that is red ocean strategy. The blue ocean strategy tells you not to make the competition irrelevant, to make competition irrelevant. And the people that have spoken about the blue skies strategy, they have given an example of takeoff of planes. When you go to an airport, for instance, when there is no more flight services, you see so many flights taking off at the same time, one after 5 minutes or 2 minutes, 3 minutes. When they are going up the sky, before they get to the blue sky, there's so much noise and there's so much coercion and here and there. But when they get to the blue sky, which is a very uncontested sky, you don't even notice whether there are other planes flying, unless you get into into the campus of the aeroplane and you are able to check the other planes that are flying within the same sky. But they fly with so much comfort that you do not even tell whether there are other planes flying within the same space. So when everybody is trying to take off, when everybody is trying to contest within the same market, then it becomes a very difficult place to compete. And I wouldn't want to advise an entrepreneur right now, and especially if you're listening to me and you're in the process of idea generation, don't come up with an idea that will just compete with 100 other ideas within your vicinity. Think of how you can come up with an idea that is not actually, that will make competition irrelevant. If you are running a company and you're thinking of coming up with a product, don't think within the competition, think beyond the competition. And that is the secret of blue sky. Now, let's look at this. Within the red ocean, you exploit existing demand. So the demand is quite small, and maybe you're competing within the Nairobi competition of 4 million people who are all trying to buy some shopping in a supermarket. And you want also to start a supermarket within the same route where people are going home. Within the same route, there's Quickmart, there's Naivas, there's Tuskys, all people are trying to queue there. And then you come up with an idea of starting your own within the same place. You are still trying to exploit the existing demand. But when you go to the blue ocean, you create and capture new demands. And this is very important. And I'm going to show you how this works miracles when you try to create and capture new demands. I know I'm talking to people who might have gone through this book. The red ocean people make the value cost trade-off. They try to push value within the same cost. But a blue ocean, you break the value cost trade-off. This is where you provide value, but you reduce on cost. And it's possible. I'm going to show you tonight how you can provide value and still reduce on cost without killing yourself with too much cost in terms of bringing up new ideas. The red ocean entrepreneurs, they align the whole system of a farm, of a farm's activities with its strategic choice of differentiation or low cost. Now, when you look at the blue ocean, they align the whole system of the farm's activities in pursuit of differentiation and low cost. Now, pursuing differentiation and low cost is you want to be different from others. You don't want to compete within the same difference. If you are developing a product, and I'm going to look at keenly on the three propositions, that is value, price, and process. If you're competing within the red ocean, then you're doing what has been done, and you're just trying to improve a bit to compete. And that is exploitation. But if you go to exploration, you are trying to exit the competition space and trying to, to be different in terms of thinking and what you're doing. And so this is just an example or a preview. I know it's in the book. Please buy that book, Blue Ocean Strategy. You'll find all this. Let's get deeper now into this and see what I'm talking about tonight. Now, there are 4 action frameworks of the blue ocean strategy. When you begin to move from the cutthroat competition where everybody is and where everybody is trying to compete, you begin to operate within this framework. Now, the first framework, the first action on the framework is race. And here is where you ask yourself which factors should be raised well above industry competition or industry standards. I want to challenge every entrepreneur here, everybody within careers, space or entrepreneurship. Think about the 4 actions in the framework and ask yourself, how can I be different? How can I be different? When you raise the standard, within the marketplace, you are coming out of competition, the cutthroat competition, by raising the standard. The other bit is creating. You raise the standard, then you create. And this is where you ask yourself, which factors should be created that the industry have never offered? And I want you to ask yourself, whether you are in the law space, you're in the medical space, you're in IT space, whichever space you are in, you need to ask yourself, do I have to create a software that everybody else is creating? Do I need to do the same thing that has been done by people over and over and over again? A blue ocean strategist does not think about how to compete within the same space. They create what has not been offered in the industry. Then there's also the aspect of reduction, And the aspect of reduction is which factors should be reduced well, below the industry. Sorry, kindly mute when you come in so that we can have, thank you very much. So with which factors should be reduced well below the industry standards? I'm going to show you, and especially when we talk about processes, I have done a study on especially the law firms and medical practitioners, how you can be competitive even within the space of service industry, including trainers, because everybody seems to be competing within the same space. But look here, you can reduce what has been offered, and it maybe reduce the pricing and get better pricing, and people will come to you. But I don't want to shoot myself first before I come to this. I just want to give you the 4 frameworks, then I come to the breakdown of it. Then elimination. What can you eliminate in the process that will make your products better? You can raise the standard of your products, or you can create new products, or you can reduce, the pricing of the products, or you can even eliminate in the process of getting that product. So this tells you how you can move from red ocean to blue ocean. And so many people are within the same space. I'll give an example of myself and me and quite a number of people. I think 200 trainers in Kenya today have been trained by ILO to offer Start and Improve Your Business program. And I have a friend here who has also done the same. Now, if 200 of us, we are trying to compete within the same space to train entrepreneurs, the question is, do we have enough of those people? Or can I reduce maybe my price to get more people? And do I create a new product which has not been offered by my ILO colleagues? Or do I eliminate some bureaucracies within the process of providing my product? Or do I raise the standard of my training? I have to think within this framework, and every serious entrepreneur has to be able to operate within this, to think within this framework. Are you raising standard? Are you creating a new product? Are you reducing the bureaucracy? Are you reducing the pricing? Or are you eliminating, processes in the bureaucracy? So this answers you the value curve. It answers you the value curve. Let me take you to the next one and look at a very important aspect of blue ocean. And this one is about product positioning. When we were learning about products and marketing with my team, I have a number of students here. We looked at product positioning. And what is product positioning? Product positioning is what position you should, right? Just 1 minute. What position should the product occupy in the consumers' minds? When you're doing a product or you're coming up with an entrepreneurship idea, you need to ask yourself, how do you want customers to remember you? How do you want customers to know you? By what? Is it by price? Is it by value? Is it by, easiness or convenience of access of product? How do you want people to remember your product? If you are doing what others are doing, then you're still within the red ocean. For you to get into the blue ocean, you must ask yourself, how do I make myself unique? And that uniqueness is a question you must answer yourself, because if you don't answer yourself, then you are operating within the same space that everyone else is operating. Let me admit a few people. All right. The other thing is, all right. Okay, we have quite numbers, so my machine is slowing. So the place of a product occupies in consumer, you need to ask yourself what place a product occupies in consumers' minds in relation to competition. And I want to ask you a good question, even as you listen to me tonight. Do you know your competition? Do you know what the competition is offering? Because if you do not know your competition, you may not even know that you're in the red ocean or you are in a blue ocean. You need to understand the competition of in the industry you're trying to enter, because that tells you how you're going to position your product or how you're going to position your company. There are so many real estate companies in this country. There are so many manufacturers in this country. There are so many fitness centers in this country. What is unique with you? What is going to be unique about what you're doing? You can't just jump in because you heard people are doing entrepreneurship and you just want to do entrepreneurship. This is not a place you jump in without thinking through well. And I've said this before. Before you leave your job, before you leave your employment, make sure that what you're doing, you are operating in blue ocean and not red ocean. Because if you're operating within the red ocean, you're going to spend so much money trying to position yourself, but it may not be a very easy journey for you. This should involve thinking about the perception of entrepreneurs when it comes to your company or your business, the impression and the feelings. What perception are customers going to have about your business? Have you thought about that? How do you want them to perceive you? What impression do you want to leave in the minds of customers when they come to you? Is it an excellent customer service? Is it good pricing? Is it good packaging? Is it good location? What is the impression? What is the impression? Because the reason why customers come back to an entrepreneur or to buy from the same person is because of the impression that they had. And I want to give an example with our current supermarkets today. Carrefour, to Tuskys, to Naivas, to the late. So let me use the late Nakumat. There's a particular impression you got when you enter, or you get when you enter to any particular supermarket. And that works within all the entrepreneurship skills. You must think of the impression, the feelings. Do you want customers to go home feeling good, feeling well served, feeling taken care of, feeling someone minded their space and all that? Please position your product, and that's very important. Now, there are 3 ways of positioning your product when it comes to blue ocean. There are 3 ways of positioning your product. Number 1 is price proposition. Price proposition. The second one is value proposition. Okay, value proposition. And the third one is process proposition, right? Process proposition. So now, when we talk about the 3, I want to go deeper into the 3 and show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Let's look at price proposition, and this is critical. So when we don't, kindly, let me just mute everyone to get clarity, not to disturb anyone. I want us to look keenly about price proposition. And this is a very critical lesson that I'm going to show you tonight. Pricing proposition. When you're talking about pricing proposition, you can talk about more for more, all right? More for more mindset. And these are ways that corporations think. When they think about pricing, they can offer more for more. And I will give an example. Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz does not give you more value for less. No. You get a better Mercedes and pay more for it. And people that purchase Mercedes-Benz products, They are willing to pay more for more features, pay more for more comfort. And you need to ask yourself, am I in the space of providing more for more, more features, more value for more cost or more pricing? Or how am I going to approach my business? There's more for the same, more for the same. When you study the market, the industry, you realize the strategy of Lexus, vehicle is they provide more features and they try to maintain the same pricing. They provide more features and try to maintain the same pricing. So that is another way of approaching pricing. So everybody here, you're going to be pricing your products. If you want to move from red ocean, because red ocean will offer the same for more, all right? That is red ocean. Blue ocean is you offer more for more and you're giving people more value. So the impression is, if I want a better car, a better Mercedes-Benz, I have to cough out more money and get more features and more value. The other mindset in pricing is more for less, more for less. If you want competition or if you want to compete within the same space but get more customers, you can offer more features, more values for less price, So if you are going to compete, and I'm telling you after COVID-19, thousands and thousands. I was listening to figures yesterday that International Labour Organization was providing in terms of job losses. And I'm telling you, the people that are going to be jobless after COVID-19 are millions and millions. And all these people, they have saved some money somewhere and they are going to enter the entrepreneurial space. The question is, what will make you survive? What will make you stand out? What will make you be unique? Are you offering more value for more? Are you offering more value for the same price? Are you offering more value for less price? Or are you offering the same for less? If, for example, I'm going into the space of selling electronics, am I going to offer the same value of electronics with and lower my price, or am I going to do less for much less? Less for much less is, if I'm manufacturing something, I manufacture a lesser value for lesser money, and this is a Chinese strategy. Chinese strategy have mastered the less for much less. So the Chinese will give you a lesser quality phone for much less price. And there are many people for that. Do you want to go to that space? And I want to challenge you tonight. If you're thinking about price proposition, you must think about this framework. You are either doing more for more, more for less, more for the same, more for less, the same for less, or less for much less. So which one are you providing? Which one are you providing? Please, you need to answer that before you start any business. And I've given an example for more for more. If you want to get a serious Mercedes-Benz, you got to cough out for more value and features. That is a space you can contest. If you want to go the Lexus way, you can get more features for the same price, or that. So let's look at value proposition. Value proposition. I've talked about price proposition. Many people do price proposition. You go into a business and you want to provide lesser pricing. I've seen even the entry of serious, chains of supermarkets. They have come in and they talk about price. But let's look at value. You don't have to contest on price. You can contest in terms of value. Now, the Blue Ocean Strategy book will give you this proposition that you can get more value, increase value, but lower cost. And any entrepreneur that is going to be successful in the near future, or that is going to do serious business after COVID-19, you must think of how you can increase value or add value by remaining or maintaining the cost or lowering the cost. Why am I saying this? Profit is what drives an entrepreneur. Profit is what drives an entrepreneur. Of course, there is a question of the service you're providing and the quality. But if you're providing quality service without getting profit, then you're not in business. Every business person tonight must think of how to make money. The reason you're going to pay your mortgage, the reason you're going to pay your business loan, the reason you're going to clear all your debts is because you're making profits. If you're not making profits, you're going to dig deeper into small debts, and it's going to be a very cumbersome process for your life. Now, let me give you more, and this is called the PMS map, the PMS map of value proposition. This one is given by the Blue Ocean Strategy book. And this is how people approach entrepreneurship. And it could be you, it could be you, it could be me. And most of entrepreneurs start with what they call, what is called the settlers. The settlers offer value imitation. Many startups, and this season especially, if you are not able to get into the blue ocean immediately, then you may want to start with what we call the settler's mind entrepreneur, who is the person who offers the same value and imitates value. For example, if you're going into manufacturing or you're going into software or so, you may want to benchmark and do something that has been done and maybe just settle on that value because you have not explored other value. The next level of value proposition is called the migrators. The migrators are the people that are moved from value imitation to value improvement. Here is where you pick a product and just improve on what has been offered. And I'm telling you this, Toyota has mastered the migrator proposition, because Toyota will produce one Harrier car that is 2010 model. The 2011 or 2012 model will have just slight improvement, value improvement, and they'll give you for just a few more coins or even maintain the same price, knowing that you're not willing to stay with the same car, the same type of car if there's a newer model. And you may want to go the same space where you just improve on value without going into very different proposition. The final one is pioneers. Very few people play within the pioneer level of innovation. And if you're going to be a pioneer in terms of value innovation, you must really work hard to make sure that you're getting yourself thinking, all right? Because many people are settled in settlers and migrators. I still challenge people to go in value innovation in terms of pioneering. Now, let me go to service providers for a while, for a minute or so. Many service providers are not able to differentiate their service from the other service provider. For example, if you are a medic, if you are a lawyer, if you are a trainer, how do you move from being a settler to being a migrator and to being a pioneer? I'll give you this. Settlers are people who do what others are doing. Migrators, they just improve on what they have others are doing. And many times we've seen books, you read my book and you realized I've just improved what John Maxwell has done. That is just a migrator mindset or a migrator level. But if you read books like Blue Ocean Strategy, if you read books that like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, you realize that's a pioneer level of thinking. People that have gone to a notch higher and began to think of different ways of getting things done. And I want to challenge, even as you go migrator level, even as you go the settler level, think and challenge yourself to go pioneer level. If you are a startup, you can go pioneer. If you're a startup in real estate, please try and go pioneer. Work a bit harder. I look at many people who are doing the same thing that has been done over and over again. Get further, import ideas, import innovation, import ways of doing things. We may, Africa is a bit behind when it comes to technology. You go to Asia, you go to Russia, you go to Europe and America, you realize that there are so many ways people are doing things that if we imported those ideas, we can get into pioneer level, and especially when it comes to African level. So don't settle, don't just migrate, pioneer. And that's a challenge for you tonight. So think of how you can enter the value proposition level by becoming a pioneer. Now, this is very important. This is a strategy that I want to give you tonight. It's called the customer pain to gain, turning customer pain to gain. How do you turn the customer pain to gain as an entrepreneur. How do you do it? And I'm going to show you. If you can study that, please, you can take screenshot. I allow you to do that only for tonight. If you look at the first one, is the gains, is the gain creators. The gain creators, the benefit, these are the benefits which the customer expects, the needs, sorry. These are the benefit which the customers expect and need. What would delight customers, you know, and the things which may increase likelihood of adopting value proposition. So when it comes to gains, when you look at on the right side is customer profile and the value proposition. If you're entering the value level of gains, you are getting into a level where customers want to gain. Customers want to gain from what you're doing, all right? You know, when you enter the products and services, when the pain of a customer, for example, let me just go back there. I want to explain it a bit further. When you look at the gain, the pain of a customer, for example, in the processes, Uber came up with Uber Eats, for instance. They knew the pain of a customer is to wake up every day and go buy pizza, you know, from a mall or something. That is the pain of a customer. The gain of the customer is Uber Eats to provide a delivery at the house. That is a gain. So when you're thinking value proposition, think on how to turn the customer pains into gains. And that is critical tonight. And these are called pain relievers. Pain relievers. Innovation in that line, you're doing pain reliever. And every entrepreneur, whether you're doing it for a first time or you're going to do it, you know, going forward, you need to think on how you can get into this space. And I'm going to break it further. So turn customer pains into gains. That is important. Innovation, innovation, innovation. You are moving from red ocean to blue ocean if you're doing that. And this is a process proposition. Now, this answers the pain to gain. And I want to break it in a very simple way. If you want to turn the pain of a customer to gain, you have to think process. You have to think process. And what is the buyer experience cycle? Please study this, and I will just break it down in a very simple way. The first level of a customer buyer process is purchase. The second one is delivery. Then we go to use. We go to supplement, all right? Then maintenance and disposal. Many products follow this buyer experience cycle. Maybe if you're offering a service, it may not be the full complete cycle. And I'm saying this because different products have different cycles. But you realize that many of them fall within this cycle. Now, for you to offer differentiation, for you to move from red ocean to blue ocean, you must think processes. You must think processes. Customer pains have been within the process. Don't think too far when it comes to innovation. How can you make life of a customer simpler? For example, the purchase process. I want to give an example of banking. The purchase process. You remember the days where we used to queue for services at the bank. What happened with M-Pesa? M-Pesa comes and they break the process of purchase. And they make it so easy that you can actually send money when you're seated in your house. Send money to your mother in the village and without moving an inch or even fueling your car. Innovation, when it comes to process and value, you must think within the customer process, buyer process or the value chain. And see, how do I break it? Don't contest within the same space. If M-Pesa came and did what banks were doing, they would not have been winners in the market. But they came and they did something different. Not only M-Pesa, let me get back to, for example, Equity Bank. If you look at Equity Bank, I studied the financials of Equity Bank of 2018, 2019. And one of the things I was sticking within in their financials is that 60% of their revenue came from their mobile transactions, and actually not their mobile and internet transaction on internet banking, not the one-on-one teller transactions. This has been able to be a game to bring a game changer in the banking industry. What you're doing now, I want to throw a question to you. What you're doing now, How are you making purchase process for an entrepreneur easier and better? How is it going to make it user-friendly, purchase-friendly? Are you making purchase easier? I look at Jumia today, and if you're here working for Jumia, this is feedback, a honest feedback for you. You know, when you order a product and you're told it will be delivered 2 months later, then is it purchase friendly? Is this solving my problem? If I need a webcam today to improve my training, and then I'm told it will be delivered 2 months later, then within those 2 months, I will have done tens of trainings that I need a solution now. So purchase has been one area that entrepreneurs need to move from red ocean to blue ocean. And please take that to your heart. It's very, very important, very critical. Now let's look. I talked about the user. Sorry, just going back to my slides. So I want to give you a few points here when it comes to to purchase. Sorry, the turnaround time for purchase is critical. If you want to increase value, moving from red ocean to value to blue ocean, please think turnaround time. How fast is it in the market? And you're looking at your competitors. How fast do they deliver products to the customer? How can you make it faster for them? If you make it faster for them, you are not competing in pricing. You're competing in process. That's important. The other thing is accessibility. How accessible is your product? How accessible is your business? How easily can people access what you're offering? Have you studied the market and asked yourself, is it difficult for people to access this kind of service? You know, for instance, if I want to do to get into a gym, how is it? Everybody goes for a gym at 9 p.m. or at 6 a.m. in the morning. Do I create more space, or what do I do? Do I have activities of people doing their own fitness activities in the house? How can I deliver products within the most accessible way possible? And the environment. Every entrepreneur must think environment. Purchasers want to purchase products within safe and secure environment. If your competitors are not offering best environment, please provide a value in terms of environment. And I'll go back to gym again. If I want to go to a gym and it's not hygienic, people are just recycling towels and doing all these things. You need to study the gaps in the market and get into a blue ocean where you offer a better environment for businesses, and you will be getting out of competition. Then convenience. Convenience is important. How convenient is it for people to access what you're offering? How convenient is it for people to buy what you are selling? If you are doing what people are doing, you're recycling problems, remember you are still in red ocean. The other thing is delivery experience. Customers have issues, especially with delivery. And I'm telling you the truth, there's a game changer when it comes to delivery, and especially with the Internet of Things and the drones, season and all this. After this COVID-19, you may want to think on delivery. Let me get to my service providers. How well do you deliver services? How timely are your services? Let me just pick a few questions you need to ask yourself. What is the delivery time for your product? And what is the delivery time for your when it comes to your competitors? How fast or how long does it take for competitors to deliver the same product? Do you want to improve on time? Then ease of unpacking of a product. For example, do I want to buy a product that gives me a headache or it keeps breaking when I'm unpacking it? Or do I want to provide a solution when it comes to unpacking my product, including my trainings? How can I make my trainings easy to unpack, easy to be understood? What is the cost of delivery? Have you asked yourself, when it comes to blue ocean, have you asked yourself whether you're doing the same cost of delivering the same product, or do you want to lower the cost of delivery of a product? And these are questions every entrepreneur tonight needs to ask themselves. If you are going to get out of red ocean to blue ocean, please ask yourself this question. When it comes to delivery, think convenience of the delivery to customer. How convenient is it? How convenient is it? GPS is here. How can I make use of GPS to drop, communication or drop my marketing letters to clients at their homes? Or what can I do? Do I want to map even my marketing strategy? Think about delivery. This is critical. When you think about delivery, think time, think cost, and think convenience. These are the pains of customers. Customers have pains in time, and they have pains on cost, they have pains on convenience. And that's really, really critical. Let's look at use. Let's look at use. When it comes to use, sorry, just a minute, I admit a few people at the waiting. All right. When it comes to use, and I took this user friendly, you can compete, or you can actually get into a blue ocean where your products are user friendly. And I think this should be a sticking point in everybody's mind. When you think entrepreneurship, if you think any provision, that service you want to provide, please make it user friendly. I was doing a study yesterday night about the future of hospitals, and it really blew my mind, because someone had written an article from India, and it was saying many hospitals, and please, if you're here and you're a nurse or a medic, please take this home, because you need to make your hospitals friendly. And when I say friendly, I mean many hospitals, people get, patients come there and they become more sick even before they get, services. Why? Even the way things are, the smell, the arrangements of offices, everything is just chaotic, and hospitals are more sickly than friendly. Now, someone wrote this article and said, can we even have hospitals which have, like green plantations inside, green vegetations inside? When people enter the hospital, it's friendly, there's life. There are so many things that can speak life than death. You don't need to scare me with skulls and people that are sickly and all these, and people that are admitted on hospitals. Even the wall hangings in hospitals, bring them out to communicate life, not death and problems. When you do that, you're making your products user friendly. And this is critical. Whatever thing you do, if I am buying a phone, I need a phone that I can use easily. This is important. Please ask yourself this question when you're talking about user-friendly products. Does the product require training or expert assistance? And if that is the case, how do they access the assistance? And it's important. Do you have a manual for your product? How do I know how to use something? I was watching I know some people are here, they're running some gym services. I watched a lady who went into a gym and started one of the machines and jumped on it just to fall because she didn't know how to use it. And then I asked myself, well, is there a way this services is explained with very easy terms, how to use 5 steps of using this service or 5 steps of using this product? Please make your customers have an easy life using your product. This is a pain for many customers. Make it easily understandable. Don't make it complex. People don't want to spend a hard time understanding how to use your product. Is the product easy to store when not in use? People don't want to buy things that they have to struggle with them. They want to buy stuff that they have easy of storage, unbreakable. Remember the phone that came, the competition of Samsung and some iPhones, where the glass is completely unbreakable. Well, the other one is so fragile that if you drop it once, then you're done. You don't have a phone. People want to buy user-friendly products. And please think about that, because Blue Ocean is where you provide products that are user-friendly. How effective are the product's features and functions? When you provide features, how effective are they? And I'm talking about products here, talking about people in housing, real estate, people in service provision, lawyers, medics, and all that. Please think about these as very critical things. Does the product or service deliver far more power or options than required by the average user? Yesterday I was sent a clip yesterday by someone from Atlanta, and the They were complaining about a real estate company. I will not mention names now. And someone wrote actually a statement that said, was advising people in diaspora, please invest where you are. Let Kenyans build and buy their own houses. That is a statement to tell you that the people have an issue with what we are providing. And I want to let you know the truth. People are tired of buying products that are not user-friendly, both in service provision, both in execution, even in how user-friendly it is. If you're selling houses for diaspora, please think about the kitchen. Do they like open kitchen, closed kitchen? What do they, how do they like their houses to look like? User experience is very critical for customers. Use the word keys. Keep it safe and simple. Many people complicate their services. They complicate their products. They complicate, including preachers. I'm a preacher. We complicate our preaching, and you want to go into dictionary to understand what this man of God is preaching. We don't need to go into a dictionary to understand what you're preaching. We just need to understand it in a layman language. We are stressed up. We have had a long week. We just need to understand a simple message. And I'm saying this to say, keep it safe and simple. Customers want user experience. The other experience is called the supplements experience. I'm giving you tips on where you can add value, how you can move from red ocean to blue ocean. When you're thinking of entrepreneurship, think supplements. If you can look at that picture there, I've given a picture of a phone which needs a SIM card, it needs a micro SD card, it needs all this. And I'm telling you, the future of the next phone, and I don't know how this would take, how long this would take, but I'm like prophesying about phones now. We are going to get phones that have inbuilt SIM cards and inbuilt, expandable memories. This is already here, but we need phones that have inbuilt SIM cards and all that. And all I need to get from Safaricom is a code that I can key into my SIM card and connect with what I have. I don't need to be unplugging and plugging in SIM cards, Airtel, this and that. And so when you think supplements, how many other products does your product need to operate? A very critical question. How many other products does your product require to function? Is it a limitation? Is it a limitation? Do you need other products and services to make this product work? And if you can reduce other supplementing products for your product to function, the better. Move from that red ocean. It's too much. That if I have to buy this, you see nowadays we have chocolate with a sugar and milk at the same time. I mean, that was a really creative thinking of supplements. I don't need to buy to get chocolate and then get sugar and then get milk at the same time. I can get all that packed in the same bottle, and I have my chocolate cup ready. So when you're thinking about entrepreneurship, think on how to make your products one stop and people have it all at once. If so, how costly are those products? Because when your products are depending on other products, you need to ask yourself, how easy, accessible, or use price friendly are they? Because your product may be easy to buy, but the other supplementing product may be expensive, and that will hinder your product from moving. How much time do they take for them to get the product, and how much pain do they cause your client? This is critical. And allow me again to go down back to my doctors. For many doctors, you go to a hospital and then you're told, please cross over to the other side and go to a pharmacy to get a medicine. This is a pain. It's a pain for many consumers. How can you make that pain again to a customer? How can you pack all those that we need together and make things work? Do I need to go to an insurance company to register for medical insurance, or can you pack it together? I was reading a story about Tunza Clinics and how they partner with a very interesting insurance package, and they are offering it to their clients. This is what I'm talking about, where I don't need to go to Jubilee Insurance to get a form to fill for medical cover. I can get that at the hospital and I can get it done all together. If insurance companies can just donate stuff to the medical centers and then people can be served there. So how can you make sure that the unpatched services are not hindering your products and making it difficult for people? That's critical for you to understand. All right. I'm still getting people coming through. So if you're coming in now, karibu sana. All-in-one products is what the future of entrepreneurship is. Please package things all together. Don't make, and for example, in my training area, we have a scenario where I have to send people to buy books in a bookshop, and when they get there, the books are not in stock, and I'm waiting for them to come to class. That is not the way we need entrepreneurship. If you're running a school or a college, make things available at once or from the same point for all business people, for all customers, sorry. Then the other thing is maintenance, and I'm about to wind up. Maintenance experience. Maintenance experience. Oh my, for my real estate colleagues, this is for you. I mean, I don't need to buy a house that I need to keep patching. I need to keep repairing every time. Let me tell you, a negative word from a customer goes to 20 new customers, and one positive word only goes to 6. That's a study that has been that has been done. If you have one disappointed customer, he will infect the same disappointment to 20. Only one satisfied customer talks to 6. So make sure that maintenance experience for customers is taken care of. You cannot operate in blue ocean if you've not thought about maintenance. The products that you're providing, how easy are they to maintain? Does the product require external maintenance? How easy is it to upgrade and maintain the product? You know, this is important. Make life easy for customers. How costly is maintenance for them? When you think maintenance experience, please think quality and value. When you think maintenance experience for customers, it's a pain already there. Think quality. When you provide quality, then you're going to get customers coming back to you. Provide quality for maintenance. And then what finally is disposal experience. I've given you the cycle of customer experience, also customer buyer experience. Disposal experience. This is where it matters. Are you selling me something that I have to unpack and dump so many things? Or are you selling me something that when I calculate the cost of the product inside and the packaging is almost 30% of the price of that product? Have you seen places where you buy something and when you calculate what is inside, is that you're actually paying 60% of the product and 40% of the package? How can you reduce that? How can you reduce that? Because you need to move from the red ocean where everybody's doing the same thing and move to a blue ocean. Do you want to, come up with disposable packaging where people don't need to have headache of disposing and, filling their dustbin? Does use of a product create waste items? Answer that for yourself. How easy is it to dispose the products that you're selling? Are there legal or environmental issues in disposing of the product safely? There are people who are still using, plastic, and it's already banned in our country. It's being banned everywhere else. How can you come up with the products that can be recycled or packaging that can be recycled? So when you think about a product, value addition, turning pain into gain, please think of this cycle. Look at how you can make your entrepreneurial business a better thing that people want to buy over and over again. How costly is disposal? When you think disposal, please go paperless or package to recycle. For my lawyer friends, we need to move from those hefty files and go to a paperless generation where everything, data is keyed into a computer and customers can access that data if they want. See how you can come up with systems that people can have an experience with. And this is very important because artificial intelligence and the machine learning, I want you to study this if you're a reader. Artificial intelligence and the machine learning is going to kick out so many people out of business. That's very important. As I close, I want to give you 4 handles to the blue ocean. Many people would want to operate in the blue ocean. Many people would want to go into their uncontested market. But these are 4 handles. How do you manage them? The first hindrance is called the cognitive handle. The cognitive handle. The second handle is the resource handle. And the third one is the motivational handle, and then the political handle. Now, let me quickly break it down. Many people would want to move to this level. But the cognitive handle talks about being able to convince the stakeholders, the people that matter in your system of entrepreneurship or in your product, for people to buy into the journey that you want to undertake into the blue ocean. Remember, we have said these are journey where you have to move from red ocean, where there's bloody cutthroat competition, where there are sharks that will consume you. You cannot compete with the big boys in the market. But the question is, do you have the convincing power to convince your employees, to convince your partners, to convince your financiers that have been operating in red ocean, but now I want to go to blue ocean? Can you get a convince a bank to give you a loan on that? Can you convince your partners to buy into that and then move together? The other thing is the resource handle. Do you have the resources to move you from red ocean to blue ocean? You need to answer that question, because the resource question is really critical. And if you do not have the money, it will become a handle. But if you want to start small and get where you're going, please remember the 3 steps: the settlers, the migrators, and the pioneers. If you don't have the resources, you can start as a settler, you can start like as a migrator, or you can go into pioneering, depending on the muscle of your resources. Then even human resource, there's one thing to have money and it's another thing to have the human resource. Do you have the human resource that will move you from red ocean to blue ocean? And if you do not have, do you have the skills? If you don't have the skills, can you team up with skills that can take you to where you're going? And I want to challenge you tonight. Don't go alone if you do not have sufficient resources for you to go. You can partner, you can collaborate. If this is a season where people need to think mergers, you can merge with another company, maybe an IT company merging with another IT company, because there are resources that you're looking for. So think how you can get yourself moving from a settler to getting to the level of a pioneer in terms of innovation. The other thing is motivation. Many companies that have been studied that have used blue ocean strategy have not gotten to this, the tipping point because of motivation. What is motivation? How do you motivate your employees? How do you motivate yourself? How do you keep yourself going even when the ocean seems deeper and the storms keep rising? Because from red ocean, which is the seashore, to the deep oceans, which is the blue ocean, there are storms. There are storms. There are temperances there are turbulences that you have to fight with, and you have to think how to motivate yourself, motivate your staff. Sometimes the journey you are undertaking may not seem to be yielding results now, but you have to keep going. You have to keep fighting. You have to keep sojourning, because if you can keep telling the guys or your team where you are going and how they will rejoice when you get there, you get them motivated. So get your team charged up, get your team motivated. See the motivators. I have trained my team, my students, on how to motivate their staff and their employees. The last handle you need to fight is called the political handle. The political handle. Now, these are internal challenges. Of course, I've not talked about the external challenges. These are internal handles that make people not to get into the blue ocean. The political handle is where you get within your team, within the people you're working with, people poking holes, poking